Yeah, Pat, I think, yeah, I see most of the people who signed up. So we have a good forum in terms of people who registered.
Good, good. Well, why don't we get started? And
You want to share your screen?
I have a screen sharing button here. Why don't we just say hello with our, like this, and then we'll share the screen, and then we'll go through. So, Abby, you just let us know when you've opened up the room and folks can hear us.
Yeah, no, it's open now.
Okay. All right, welcome everybody. We're Strategic Alliance Consultants, and thank you for your time and attention today. We're going to go through the offerings of SAC as they relate to rip and replace. We've got a presentation to my left. Would that be stage right? Would be Abhi Thorat. He's the CEO, and he'll introduce himself in a bit. And then down below the Hollywood Squares direction is Casey Joseph, and he's a primary consultant with us in the RF space. So welcome, guys. I'm going to start sharing my screen. And Abhi, have you started the recording?
Abhi? Yes, it is on. It is on.
All right, sounds good. All right. All right. It's nice to start the slide deck on the first slide. So, so there we go. Here's our agenda for today. Introductions. We're going to walk through a few things as they relate to the FCC's official Secure and Trusted Communications Networks Reimbursement Program, otherwise called RIP and Replace. Most of you know the details here, but we're going to get on the same page, and there's some dates and requirements that are listed here that be good to be mindful of. We're going to describe our program, budget, timeline, application.
Hey, Pat.
Yes.
So we are seeing a different screen. Did you full screen it? We are on slide number 10.
Slide number 10. All right. Apologies here.
Oh, there you go.
All right. I'm going to start with one here. Let me start it again.
And did you intend to full screen it?
Do you have screen number 1 now?
Hang on. It's.
All right. Hold on a second. Apologies, folks. Let's go back and. Oh, wow. Did this fix anything?
No, it did not. So the earlier instance.
Are we on the first screen?
Yeah, we could see the PowerPoint, but it wasn't in the slide mode.
Is it in slide mode? It should be in slide mode now. Okay. Hold on. Sorry about technical issues here. yeah, I mean, this is, what do you see now?
No, so we just see the videos, the three of us. Yeah, we don't see your screen shared yet.
You don't see, okay.
This is fine too, if you could adjust. This is fine as well. It's just the only thing with the notes would be.
There. How's that?
Yeah, this is better.
All right. All right.
Yep.
Apologies. I'm still going to have to show navigation. All right. So, again, introductions. We're going to describe the FCC Rip and Replace program in some detail, mainly for your reference. So we'll send you copies of this deck, and it'll be in there. And then the most important part of this presentation is really the turnkey integration solution that we offer. That's really the meat of the presentation, most important part. And there'll be additional services we offer that we think you want to be aware of. It's our presentation, so we're going to wave our SIC flag a little bit and give you confidence that we're the partner that you'd like helping you with this program, and then open up for questions and then wrap up. The goal here is the presentation will be 30 minutes. So introductions. Abhi, would you spend a moment and tell us how you got SAC started?
Sure. Right. So first off, right, thank you. Right, thank you for attending. Thank you for registering and attending. Right. Myself, Abhi Thorat. Right, so I'm based in Seattle. 20 plus years of technical experience, right, mostly telecom. Went through the life cycle of operations, engineering, design, and yeah. So while working, it was quite evident that the carriers had a problem which wasn't being addressed by the OEMs or vendors, and the main aspect of this problem was it was a mixed skill set problem of cross-functional skill sets, right? Say radio, core, virtualization, cloud, and security. So yeah, so to meet this problem, right, to meet the needs of the carriers and enterprises, started SAC. So my main job is recruiting, training resources in this cross-functional dimensions, and yeah, and reaching out to customers and doing projects for them.
Abhi's also a fearless leader, and we thank him for that. Although we're keeping him in the dark today, which is a strategy most of us employ for our bosses. So my name is Pat Brady, and my background in college was astronomy and physics, and I started my career at Bell Laboratories. They turned me into a switching engineer. I was on the 5ESS project for a number of years, and on the architecture team for a while. I left and worked at Motorola. It turned out that Bell Laboratories actually invented mobile telephony and didn't build it. And Motorola was just down the road. So there was like a well-worn path between the two buildings. And a lot of folks there ended up at Motorola. They had much stronger RF background. They were making radios for police and public safety, and really knew that area well. So they were well positioned to build mobile services out. So I was on GSM, did international, and a bunch of stuff there for a while. I left that to start a call center company with my own set of inventions, and took that public and kind of invented the whole call center space to include emails and interactions like texts and chats and things like that. So that was a great experience, a lot of fun. I'm here today, kind of back in the mobile world with Avi and company, and really enjoying it. I kind of like what everybody's done with the old house. I mean, it's decorated with 4G and 5G is coming on, and it's really quite evolved. It's an exciting time to be in mobile, and happy to be here. So, Casey, you take a second, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Casey Joseph. I've been in wireless communications for over 30 years now, so which means I came in at the end of 1G, and I've seen the evolution of networks, technologies, base stations, RF, from the old analog days all the way through where we stand today in 5G. I've focused most of the time in my career on multi-technology operations, so networks dealing in multiple generations of technologies, and even crossing over paths between the old CDMA and GSM technologies. A lot of it spent in small commercial networks, private networks, also tactical and deployable systems for military and government applications, all using cellular technology. So I've seen the evolution and the transitions that it takes for operations, specifically on the smaller, everything, the tier 2, the tier 3 type of networks, to have to uplift the technology or to have to integrate a new capability. So I'm very familiar with the not only the technology challenges, but the logistics and the real overall challenge that it is to integrate new technology and do upgrades like this. So as we look towards the FCC rip and replace, it's a real unique opportunity for your networks to be able to get an uplift in the equipment put in place, but certainly it is not a trivial task to do that. And that's why, we tried to assemble a team with backgrounds and with capabilities, so we can bring those types of services that can help you in that process to move along while continuing your day-to-day operations, but also, by the way, putting in that new network equipment and having a smooth upgrade. So
Great. Thank you, Casey. Really, Casey and Avi are both veterans of the space and have the scars to prove it. So, as don't we all. So, as Casey said, this is about services, and our capabilities in services run, the full gamut of what's required in mobile today. We understand not only what's in mobile, but what's coming. We have capabilities, networks and security and cloud that are kind of visionary from the 4G perspective, but are more and more important. Obviously, radio and of course project management to tie it all together. Avi asked me to pop this slide in. This is really, it's a 5G oriented view of the mobile world, but it's also, this is the mobile world. So there's not only RF here. There's front hauls and back hauls and mid hauls, and you've got core. The architectures are migrating more and more, but at the end of the day, it looks like this. And we live in this world. You live in this world. We're kindred spirits, and we're here to help you. So, Avi, anything you'd like to say about this slide?
Yeah, so this is more futuristic in terms of, so in the context of rip and replace, right? So we understand that, there's two paths, right? So one is this apples to apples, right? If it's 4G, just replace it with another 4G radio or, core element. But the concept behind this slide is, we are here to think through with you in terms of where do you want to be a few years from now, and then align your business goals with the technology landscape. And and this is where the 5G landscape is headed as of now, right? In terms of all the emerging technologies on the RF side, you'll see a lot of ORAN, like the CUDU concepts, and like the transports also sort of disaggregated into front haul, mid haul, back haul, and on the core side, you'll see virtualized elements. So yeah,
Right.
I think that's good for this slide.
Okay. Hopefully that slide lays some foundation for and perspective on our skills and competencies. So you can see, top to bottom, radio to network virtualization. Casey's the expert on the radio side, spectrum management, DSA, ORAN, and then CBRS is also becoming an issue that's grabbing everyone's attention in that band. We've got a lot of experience on the core side, 4G core, 5G core, and know how to discuss these things with companies in a business sense, and not just in an abstract technical sense. So, we see the trends in cloud computing front and center on our projects that are data network, and cloud transitions. You'll see some of the case studies and success stories. We've worked in that area. That's coming. It's not necessarily here yet. These are 5G topics for most of us, but it spells cost savings. Less equipment to buy, less buildings, fewer air conditioning bills, right? All that type of stuff is on its way, and that's why we mentioned it. That's why we care about it, and we think you should care about it too. Same goes for Open RAN. If you can, the standards-based products, drive prices in the right direction for everybody and give you choices. And this is what it's all about. So, and not least of which is the virtualization of the network. All these processes can run in orchestrated fashions in containers. Again, this is another piece of this cost reductions by expanding out of the building space and not owning your own equipment on the computing side. So where have we done this work? We've done it with tier one players, some of the best and largest companies in the business, and we're proud of that. And we bring that experience and that depth to the projects that were rip and replace projects. Any size company, we're efficient. We get it. We understand. Small companies, but we also cut our teeth on these large projects where they asked us to do some pretty significant things. Abhi, any further thoughts here on?
Yeah, so this slide sort of captures the one before in terms of what were the areas that were worked on, right? So some of this, if you look at the San Mateo County, it's more of data networking and security. And the top three are more along the lines of carriers. And even for carriers, you'll see like 4G COPS, and 5G and cloud engineering. So,
right. Okay. We've been around a little while, and as Abhi's bio would indicate. But Abhi, would you mind highlighting some of the achievements in the past year?
Yeah, so again, right, so this is a good representation of the engineering prowess, right? The chops covered over the time and across different segments, right? So the first one, AT&T SBC integration, it was more along the lines of the work done was engineering. It was emerging AT&T's common backbone core with SBCs. Technologies involved were MPLS, BGP VPNs, and IP MPLS. And then with Clearwire, that was more of wireless Profile B, Profile C markets design engineering. Then again, 4G core. This was migration from 3G to 4G packet, circuit switch to packet switched, and then further as 4G virtualization was happening, then more work was done in regards to virtualization, OpenStack, Contrail, and most recent is standalone core, right? So integration testing for Verizon. The project's been going on since 2019. Now we're getting more involved in not only the core, but the security and the test automation of the cloud platforms.
Right. Well, thank you, Avi. Just a quick 50,000-foot view of this. The industries that we've served, primarily telecom and wireless, but also public safety and government. The San Mateo County project, for instance, finance. We did a project, AXA, and network transformation, and then Mercedes-Benz network consolidation, nationwide consolidation projects. So, this is how we ended up with a broad experience of traditional networking and wireless and telecom. So, okay, enough about us. Let's visit the FCC's Rip and Replace program here. As most of you know, it's almost a $2 billion program, which really addresses the security of communication services network. So for companies under 10 million customers, they've supplied funds for this. You're free to apply. The target is removal of Huawei and ZTE equipment that was obtained before June 30th, 2020, which is probably everything, since it became pretty clear around that time that this was going to be the situation for those companies. Well, how do you apply? Well, there's a form. You can check the link down below, and that'll pop up access to that form. You fill it out. They claim it's about 6 hours of work. That may or may not be true, depending on the size of your network. And there's a little time left. So if this is the first you've heard of it, and it's possible, then please take it seriously. This is a real opportunity, but you have to get it in, application in before the 14th at 11:59 p.m. And having submitted government applications before, I recommend you don't wait even that day. If you could do it the 13th, because there can be a rush to get stuff in, and then their servers are slow, and then you miss. So just a tip from someone that's come close to having that happen. So deadlines, be mindful, obviously the 14th, and then there's a reimbursement filing 1 year from the approval of the applications, which will be these application approvals. They think early second quarter, so maybe March, first week of March, second week of March. They've been doing a pretty good job of getting these things done on the time frame that they've estimated. And then there's a deadline 120 days after the project's completed. Then reimbursement filings have to be in. I won't go through the rest of these, but suffice it to say that there are filing updates that need to happen, and spending reports, and final certification, and all these things have to be done on their time frame. They have to, like any government program, you can't miss them, and that's part of what our project managers do. Is they're mindful of all these, and they'll make sure that none of this stuff's missed, and that you're going to get your money. Okay. So moving forward, this is, we want to make it easy for companies to do this, and the focus here is going in, assessing your network, getting a good foundation, we'll architect a solution and or validate your architecture if you've filed and identified equipment already. Part of the network assessment and the architecture solution is, we're forward looking. We want to make sure that anything that's put in is future proof and ready for your 5G plans, whatever those are. We'll discover that in our network assessment, learn about your business, your goals, aspirations, and bake that into the solutions architecture and the design and engineering that we do. We validate and test and deploy the system with you, or make sure your teams are where they need to be through project management, et cetera. You'll see some more detail, but this is the high level of what we do. We're an extra resource for your teams. Everybody's busy running networks and running your business right now. So when you get a project like this, we're here to help you, and also be an extra set of eyes and lend our experience in some of the areas maybe you don't have the depth. So solutions architecture is where it starts. Like I said, we do a network discovery and assessment. And we want to align with your business requirements. The success parameters and metrics, we want to define those so we know what success looks like. And we get a concept of the deployment. So, from a high level, these things are, capacity and future capacity needs. 4G to 5G is that, what are your plans there? Are you looking for standalone or not standalone? And things that, it's all got to work in with your billing system and network management system. Alarms have to alarm, and this new equipment all has to tie in. So we look for all those potential gotchas to make sure that this is a smooth operation and that there's no negative surprises. Just as a company, we take a vendor agnostic approach. So we'll work with whoever you want. You get a better price with a vendor, we're fine with that. And we leave behind a documented reference architecture and help you do the vendor selection. Now we design and build, and so the build part, we're with you the whole way there. Everything from converting these conceptual designs that we put together with your team in the previous design phase through right down to the rack mount, the wiring layouts, as-built drawings, and device configurations. So no surprise when teams go out to sites, then they're efficient and they can get things done quickly, and the project moves forward on schedule. So we develop engineering documents and put together a design package for you, and with the key providers of your team, and document and validate deployment guidelines. So there'll be methods of procedures for site-specific work. These you may have already, or if not, we can help you develop them. And part of the deployment process is potential backup procedures, et cetera. So hopefully we don't need those, but that's part of doing something right, is looking at all the possibilities. No job is done in our mind unless it's been validated. So we have a service assurance plan that's part of our work. We test the RF portions, the core, et cetera. And this is a combination of functional tests, which may be, maybe you have regression tests, we implement those, but also performance. Want to make sure that there aren't, performance issues, capacity issues that are lurking when you do unit tests. So we find ways to do that. And then make sure your users are happy. And then if you have a disaster recovery plan, we can even test that. These are all important aspects of a complete job. And we want you to know right up front kind of our mindset. Finally, project management is key to a successful project. And our project managers are PMP certified, they're experienced. We have documented best practices that we use for network migrations that are at play here in all steps. The project specifications catalog from the FCC is also our guidebook on eligible expenses and costs. So we draw from that in all the work we do and in our proposals up front, so that we're all on the same page with the goal of avoiding cost overruns or expenses that are outside of that book. Service level, always important. Capacity management, always important. These are things that's part of how we think and part of our best practices. Everybody's got a budget. The project has a budget. We work with you up front to define that, and as the project moves on, we implement the payouts and such in standard accounting practice that runs all of our projects. What else can I tell you here? So the key word is management, change management, incident management, asset management, risk management. Okay. Avi, anything you'd like to add to our process here? So
we could have a project manager, so it could pair with them, and I think we cover this slide very lightly.
Okay. All right. Obviously getting the equipment out and commissioning the new equipment is the job. On the other hand, we have an additional portfolio of services that we think you might want to consider at this juncture. Government's kind of paying for an upgrade to your network, and there are some significant benefits just by doing some thinking here and some study and assessment that could pay a lot of dividends. Obviously, this whole project's about security. So while we're looking at your network, we could do a vulnerability assessment. You could ask us to do penetration testing or disaster recovery and continuity planning. Those are all important services in our portfolio that it could be implemented at pretty low charge, since we're already there and already know your network. We have project managers, people, engineers involved with it. So it's just something to consider. We're not, trying to upsell you guys. Also, future-proofing your network. The capacity that you'll need in the future is we all know that's just gonna the needs there are going to increase and increase, right? So if you want, we can take a look at your backhaul and your systems 5G readiness, and at minimum we can provide you a roadmap. You don't have to spend any money, you don't have to implement all this stuff, but at least you'll know where you stand and what's coming, and when it's time, then you can go back to that and you've got budgetary numbers, right? So same goes for cloud. Again, the idea with cloud is cost savings, and really kind of unspoken here is that these upgrades and attention to your network are going to make it possible for you to uncover new revenue streams, and I know it's rip and replace today, but that's also what we're about. We're about helping you guys make money as a business, and we'd love to talk to you about that. So, just to show you where we're coming from, where we've been, our partners, the kind of folks that we've technologies we're familiar with, that we've installed and configured, and who we work with closely. You know, they're on the slide, and this isn't by any means complete. It's just lets you know the kind of players that we're used to working with.
Yeah, so the top section is our comfort level in terms of the vendors that we have worked with. Not comfort level, but the experience we've had. And the bottom partners are, so these are the vendors and the OEMs you have partnered to come up with a combined solution of the wireless stuff, cloud platform, the servers, security, and even testing. And so we are Keysight partners, which have like testing gear for RF and the core and then end-to-end.
Right.
That's how I would.
Right. Right. Thank you, Abhi. Promised 30 minutes, and as soon as we got our technical act together, we're about 2 minutes away from that time. We're going to have a moment for questions after this slide, but just in conclusion, really we have a target portfolio of services for network transformation. That's our business. To start before rip and replace. Rip and replace we view as a network transformation. And we feel like we're an ideal partner for you guys because we have tier 1 experience. We've done large projects, forward-looking projects, and we can bring that experience to you. We also have a broad range of portfolio services outside of the standard 4G and wireless world. We've got cloud and security experience, for instance, and we're proud of that. So, things like private LTE, the fact that we're agnostic to vendors, I think, make us ideal for helping planning and getting involved in vendor selection, et cetera, et cetera. Got a great team, project managers. You understand that, things have to be efficient. We're also, want to look ahead after rip and replace, and our goal would be to be your long-term strategic partner. Like I said, I like what the world's done with mobile right now. I think it's moving in a great direction, and there's a lot of new business opportunities there, and we'd like to help you take advantage of that. So, having said that, Casey's been a little quiet. I haven't really tapped him for his thoughts. Casey, you have any concluding thoughts you'd like to add to the presentation?
Yeah, I just think it's a great opportunity in front of the industry right now. If you look at a similar program that was executed by the FCC for the recent repack of the 600 megahertz spectrum that freed up spectrum for LTE, the broadcasters, the over-the-air broadcast television stations, had a similar program in place where they were able to rip and replace their existing gear and put in gear that worked on the new channel assignment that they had. But what most of them did as an underlay to that was they built the foundation for the future by putting in place technology that worked today, but also was upgradable for the future. I think what's really exciting about this, and what has been maybe a barrier to the tier 2, tier 3 market in the US previously, is that this type of program that can help to fund this type of upgrade can put technologies like O-RAN in place that have the upgradability to 5G when you're ready to make that move, and also help put the infrastructure in place so that your backhaul and your front haul and your mid haul and everything that you need to have in place is enhanced or is there for that time when the upgrade happens. Not everybody's going to go to 5G at the same time or at the same pace, but this is a great opportunity to be able to set the path for that and lay that foundation. And that's where SAC comes in with the type of experience, the contacts, the knowledge of the industry, and the technology to be able to assist you in that analysis of what's proper for your network, what's the right fit, and what sets the proper path for the future so that you can grow into the next generation and move to 5G at the appropriate time. So I look at it, I'm really excited about the whole program, and that this is really that kickstart, I think, that that was really needed for this area of the wireless market to really be able to put that technology in place and compete, and not just in 4G, but in 5G moving ahead.
Great, well said. That's exactly how we view things. It's an opportunity, and people are going to move ahead at different paces, but this is a good kickstart opportunity for everybody. So we're going to take questions from our audience, and Abhi's been tracking those. Abhi, got anything that we can address?
All right. No questions yet.
So we've apparently answered everyone's questions
Very
just
good.
through the presentation, which is fine. If questions occur to you, feel free to contact me directly. You can call me, you can email me. Check out our success stories on strategically.com. And I appreciate your time today, and we're here to help you. So feel free to contact us. Have a good rest of the day.
Yep, and thank you. Yeah, thank you for your time today.
Thanks, everybody.